Do you feel stuck? Are you looking for a vision? Are you looking for purpose for your life? Do you have no direction of knowing where you're going? See, I was a prostitute, and I had a belief that that was the only way that I could make enough money to support my 3 boys. Whatever you believe is your truth, but it's not the truth. I never thought that I would ever do anything like that. In fact, I remember having a conversation with my best friend in 4th grade. She asked me when I wanted to lose my virginity. And I told her I wanted to wait until I was married. She was super shocked. But see, that's where my heart was. That's who I was. So to live the way that I was living, I hated it. I had massive depression attacks about every 3 months. I hated the way I was living. I couldn't see a way out of it. I had no purpose. I couldn't live on minimum wage and support 3 boys, so that is all that I thought that I could do. I thought that was my only option. But it was killing me so much inside. So I started praying and calling upon my Elohim, my God, for help. I had no idea how to get out, but I just kept on asking for help. Help me find a way out of this. Please help me find a way out of this. And I wouldn't hear a word. It was like he was not there, like he was totally silent. But I didn't stop. I didn't stop asking. Every day, throughout the day, I would ask. And days became weeks, and weeks became months. But I kept crying out. With everything that was in me, I would cry out. And there's something that he tells us. He tells us to ask, and it shall be given to us. And seek, and you shall find. And knock, and it shall be opened. For everyone asking receives, and anyone who is seeking finds. And to him who is knocking, it shall be opened. After like 2 years of crying out with everything that was inside of me and hearing nothing, out of nowhere, I heard a voice. And he said, I will take you out. And the reason why I'm taking you out is because you're going to help other girls come out. And then he went on to tell me that there was going to be this lady, this woman, that was going to help me. And he told me he was going to tell me who she was and when to confess to her. Do you want a vision? Or do you want a purpose so bad that it makes you cry at night? Because that's what it's going to take to really hear what your purpose is. That's what it's going to take to persevere through days and weeks and months to hear your true purpose, your true vision, the one that will fulfill you. You got to keep asking, and you can't give up. And I didn't. I found Danny Johnson's book called Spirit Driven Success. And I started going to her conferences. And I started learning about people. And I started learning about forgiveness and family and entrepreneurship. And I learned more about who Elohim is. Because I had the wrong idea of who he really is. Before every conference, we would get this survey where we could fill it out and have a chance to ask her a question. And this was in May of 2012. And I had a strong sense come over me that told me that I needed to confess to her on this survey what I was doing. And I was so scared. And I kept asking God, are you sure you want me to do this? Because I would be judged from other people when I would try to get help. They wouldn't help me. They would ignore me. And I was crying for like a whole week. Just kept asking God, are you sure? Are you sure? But there's this overwhelming sense of certainty that I needed to tell her. And so I did. And my idea of quitting was that I was going to start a photography business. And then as I started making money, I would quit prostitution. But God had other plans for me. On my way to that conference that weekend, I kept hearing, wonder if I tell you to completely stop now. Wonder if that's what Danny tells you, is that you have to stop completely right now. And I would smirk to myself and say, no way. There's no way I could just stop. I have to make money. And I would say, I'm going to build my photography business. And once I'm making enough money, then I'll stop. But God had other plans. At spiritual equipping that weekend, Danny came up to me. She put her hand on my forehead. And she called me out by name. And she said, April Seekins, you need to stop doing what you're doing now. And she went on and she prayed for me. And after she was done, I cried like for about 30 minutes like a baby. And then it was done. I went home that weekend. I got rid of my phones, my email, my website. I was making $20,000 a month. And I'd just given that up. But I was done. My biggest fear was being homeless. And I had to surrender that fear and say, if I become homeless, then I become homeless. But I'm not going to live this life anymore. And I didn't. Do you want your life to stay the same? Or do you want it to change? Do you want to live on purpose? Or do you want to live by default? Do you want it so bad that it makes you cry at night? Because if you're living in a dark place and you don't know what to do and you want to change, you're going to have to want it so bad that it makes you cry at night. And you're going to have to want it so bad that you keep pursuing the answer and you keep asking, even when you don't hear anything. for days, for weeks, for months. You got to have it so bad that you're not going to give up. That's what it takes. And God promises us that when we ask, that it will be given to us. And when we seek, we shall find. When we knock, it will be opened. And for everyone asking will receive. And he who is seeking shall find. And to him who is knocking, the doors will be opened. So to find your real purpose, to find your real vision for your life that will fulfill you, because it's who you are, it's the core of who you are, keep asking and don't give up. My next podcast is going to be about building belief around your vision or your purpose and tips on how to accomplish it.